Shalom, it's your brother Yerake, and all praise to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rachakwadash, giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Shalom to the elect of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, whom the Lord will have mercy on in these latter days. Shalom to the prophets, the men of the Lord that are preaching and teaching on the highways and byways in sincerity and in truth. Shalom, shalom. And I have a message here. Really just a quick lesson. More news surrounding this COVID-19 thing. This is utterly disgusting. But as we know, Esau-Edom is who we call the devil in the scriptures, and he's really the human counterpart of Satan on the earth, and he has a specific role to play, which is basically to terrorize the other nations. He's an example of how not to rule over the earth, and I have a quick few precepts that are lined up here, but you can see it here on the headline. It says endangered moon bears are being farmed in South Korea for a COVID cure. Now, this is over here in South Korea, but where is all the money and the funding going to come from? Who has the most fatalities of this so-called illness? It's over here in America. So, and to be quite honest, if America was not pushing this in their media so heavy about, you know, the severity of it, of this .005 death rate illness, none of these other nations will give a damn about it, man, because America is essentially the leader of the world, essentially. So this is leading to really just abominable things being done, and I'll read this. Uh, there's no this is disgusting, what Esau is doing. So I'll read a good chunk of it, but not all of it. It says, though the practice in South Korea has died down, moon bear bile has been renewed, has seen renewed interest as a coronavirus treatment. Now, bile is a digestive fluid that your body produces to help you break down foods, and I'm sure it has other functions as well, but I believe it's just involving in the breakdown uh, of food in your intestinal area. It says moon bears, also known as Asian black bears, have historically been prized throughout Asia for their bile. Because, hey, Moab, and you can't trust the heathen, man. I want to do a lesson that'll just say Moab will eat anything, and he'll hey, this is why the law needs to be established over the entire earth, because just madness will ensue. They'll eat bats, snakes, jaguars, eels. They'll eat this bear. They'll have a soup out of it or something, some kind of madness, because they don't know how to rule, man. It says because that's where this whole cultural thing started from, is over there in the east. But now, is that going to mean, if they're looking at this for a potential cure, what's going to be in the vaccine? It begs the question, you know. So, as their bile has been especially sought after in Asia during the COVID-19 pandemic, as it has been promoted as a possible coronavirus treatment. So they're going to take the bile out of this animal, out of this moon bear, which is an unclean animal. All right, this animal is unclean. Now you can touch an animal that's living or what have you, but if the animal is dead, you're not supposed to touch the animal. And that would stand to reason that you shouldn't take any fluids out of an unclean animal and put it in your body. This is madness and abominable and disgusting. According to National Geographic, moon bears are the most common species of bears formed for their bile in Southeast Asia. The bile from these bears contain high levels of ursodeoxycholic acid, which has been shown to be effective in helping treat certain liver and gallbladder conditions in humans. So let's look up, what does the scriptures have to say about this. This is Leviticus 11 and 27, because the Most High tells us how to deal with animals, which animals we are to deal with, as far as eating, as far as what's clean, what's unclean, when to touch them, and what to do when after we touch them. You know, so this is Leviticus 11:27. It says, "And whatsoever goeth upon his paws among all manner of beasts that go on all four, those are unclean unto you. Whoso toucheth their carcass shall be unclean until the even." So this animal is a bear that goes on its paws. Bears go on all fours. They can stand up, but when you see a bear walk, he doesn't walk on two legs usually. He walks on all fours. It says, "And he that beareth the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the evening. They are unclean unto you." So why the hell would you take the bile of this animal and inject it into a human? He's a mad scientist, and he needs to be stopped. I'm kind of laughing, but hey, this is another example of why the Lord has to come back and ultimately deliver us. Because Esau right now could pass a law saying you have to take the vaccine, and it'll have this shit in it, and you could be on risk losing your job, getting locked up. It says beyond its medical value, bear bile. I hate to even say that bear bile has also historically been promoted across Asia as a way to cure hangovers or treat acne, according to Animals Asia, an animal welfare group headquartered in Hong Kong. Though these animals remain scientifically unproven, so they haven't even scientifically proven it by their own words, and they're out here farming an endangered animal. Now these certain animals have very high populations. You know, like deer. You notice most of the clean animals, they can populate very rapidly. Most of the unclean animals, like lions and elephants and bears, they don't reproduce that much. They have four or five. You know, there's not a ton of them. You know, but you look at a lot of those, a lot of cattle, sheep, they can reproduce a lot of those. So these animals are very easy to go into extinction because they're not made to be hunted and harvested. And Esau has these things in a cage somewhere, basically torturing them. You know, hey, the Lord is gonna destroy this place. This is where was I? It says though the practice has been widely condemned over the years, farming of bear bile remains in South Korea. According to a June 2020 report from the Korean Animal Welfare Association, over 430 bears used for their bile are currently being held in cages across 30 South Korean farms. Hey, this is wild, man. There was a part down here that I wanted to get to. Oh yeah, it's just up here. It says according to Animals Asia, bears used for extracting bile are held in captivity and are kept in tiny cages. Now, what the hell sense does it make to keep a bear in a tiny cage, man? For what? That's unnecessary. That's just like how Esau had us in captivity already. But what would he do? He would do all kind of madness. You know, he'd rape us in front of our kids. He would, man, he'd feed our babies to alligators. He'd castrate us. Unnecessary, man. And that same spirit is on these heathen over there too. And a lot of these dollars come from America. A lot of this research, it goes to pharmaceutical companies based right here in America. Johnson and Johnson, Pfizer, all these major corporations, these these multinational corporations, they're funding markets just like this. And see, Moab is hand in hand with Esau-Edom, and that's why the Lord's got a great judgment coming for them as well too. I can't remember the scripture that says that something of the lines that Moab goes hand in hand with Esau. He's trying to follow after him, basically. It says, if you brothers know that scripture, post it in the comments. Uh, it says the bile is extracted using invasive methods like inserting a catheter into the bears. gallbladder, which can be painful to the animal and lead to infection. Now, I don't need to read any more than that just to see how demonic this goddamn demon is. Esau and Moab, you know, Shalak Rayam to these heathen, man. And hey, this is why it says here in Isaiah that the earth is going to rejoice. Let me get this. Isaiah 14:6 says, "He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruleth the nations in anger, is persecuted, and none hindereth. The earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing." So the whole earth is going to rejoice when the Lord takes the kingdom back, because He pretty much has to. The scriptures say there would be the scriptures say there would be no flesh saved if this thing was to continue. In verse 8, it says, "Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, Since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us." So even the trees are gonna rejoice. The whole earth is gonna be in righteousness and dwelling and happy. The whole vibration of the earth is gonna change when His kingdom is taken down. Lord willing, He comes tomorrow and does this thing, man. And we know a few more prophecies have to take place, but we're basically at the end of this thing, guys. And I'll sum it up here with Revelation 11:18. It says, "And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name." That's the elect, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the remnant that will have faith unto death in these latter days, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. So this is John Revelator speaking, right here in Revelation. So right here at the end, the Lord is gonna get His lick back at the end of the day. This madness cannot continue to go on, and he's been doing stuff like this since he's been in rulership, really. But now you're seeing this. This could be in the vaccine, and they don't even tell you. For all we know. So stay circumspect. Hopefully, this made sense. Hopefully, y'all were edified, Akim. Call halal Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rachak Wadash. Wa abad babal.